Hello trophy hunters, I'm back. That's right, it's time for a new trophy list review. And yeah, it's been a little while, sorry about that. I get this bug sometimes where I just don't feel very creative. I hope that's very relatable because I sure as hell think it is. And yeah, it's just one of those things. Sometimes I don't feel like making videos, sometimes I feel like just playing games and just getting on with that. But it always comes back around, and I have found time to redesign some of my trophy icons, well, if not all of them. And you can see there I've tidied them up, they're all uniform now. I've been allocated a trophy type between the bronze, silver, gold and the platinum. None of the names have changed other than Time Crisis, which I think used to be Time Commitment. So these awards, as usual, are given at the end of a trophy list review, and they kind of summarize your list and what I think of it and the feelings I get throughout. And that's the gist of it. That's always at the end, and the majority of the video is just going through the games and the list and seeing what we can see. And today we're looking at CurseBanette's trophy list, and I can already see a couple of stats that let us know what kind of trophy hunter they are. 99.27% completion ratio, with only 101 trophies unearned, and that's across 285 platinums. So already insane stats, and you know, I don't usually enjoy looking at completion kind of perfection lists, but I must acknowledge, you know, how much time, commitment, skill, dedication that upkeeping anything to 99%, you know, regardless of our medium of trophy hunting, is insane. So already well done for that insane dedication, and I hope the list reflects your passion for these games, that you want to keep, you know, near 100%. So crazy stats already. But as always, we're going to go through the list alphabetically, and for a change, I sort by all games and platinum only. This is essentially his whole list. I'm not unhiding anything, or at least I don't think I am. We'll continue with the review in just a second, but I wanted to tell you about a cool Discord that I'm a part of. I don't have my own, it's not something I've considered yet, but I do love joining Trophy Hunter Discords in the hopes of finding somewhere welcoming and down to earth. Well, I found just that. Trophy Scavengers. I stumbled upon them one day a few months ago and was very quickly welcomed without anyone even knowing I had a YouTube channel. There's loads of stuff you'd expect, but my favourite thing about the community are the tournaments they hold. I'm the current Tekken 8 Trophy Scavenger Champion. I think I've won that one twice so far. There's generally 2 or 3 tournaments a month, all with different games. Rainbow Six, Among Us, Tekken, Poker Nights, the list goes on. There are polls open and more suggestions are always welcome. It's a growing and always improving channel. You'll find an invite link in the description for anyone interested in joining. So come hang out, join some tournaments together, we'll talk trophies. Saying that, I do need a duos partner for an upcoming Rainbow Six tournament, so you'll actually be helping me out a lot as well. Alright, with all that said, let's get back to the review. So first up, we've got Hack Versus. Now, .hack is an old PS2 JRPG, isn't it? But the Versus in this tells me it's a fighting game. Never heard of the fighting game Hack, to be honest, but already starting off strong with something that I don't know about. And then Aqua Plus Dreamer Match. Never heard of that one either. Sounds like an obscure PS3 game. And oh, already a surprise here. I didn't know Arcade Archives, the King of Fighters 98, had a platinum. There's loads of King of Fighters games, and there's loads of these Arcade Archives. But I thought they were all 100%. But nope, this certainly does have a platinum. Something I'm going to keep an eye out for myself. I expect we're going to see a lot of King of Fighters in this list. CurseBanette has assured me that I will enjoy their list, and that can only mean a couple of things. Loads of fighting games, and no, that's probably all it means actually. That's the only thing it can mean, right? If someone messages me and says, "Oh, you're going to love my trophy list, dude," I just know it's going to have a lot of fighting games on it. That's just me. And then Arcana Heart 3. Oh, loads of Arcana Hearts. Okay, that's interesting. You've got... Is this essentially the same game? These 4 here. I'm going to expect a lot of multi-stacks, but even if they are multi-stacks, you know, these aren't... You can see these are not auto pops. 1 year, 3 months, 1 year, 2 months, 4 months, 3 years. and the rarity on them 2.85. You know, these are all ultra rares with the exception of this EU one. So this is someone who's going to enjoy getting multiple stacks of the same ultra rare trophy without auto pop. That's already a lot of respect as well. And I've already found the first platinum I'm jealous of, Art of Fighting Anthology. I've got this myself, not the platinum, but I've played it on and off for a few years, and CurseBanette's just gone and got the platinum in 21 hours, which is crazy. You know, this is an older fighting game series, the main series before King of Fighters, I believe, and they're all games from the 90s, so you're dealing with unfair AI and beating the game without continues, unlocking all mini games, completing it with all characters. It's well worthy of its 8 out of 10 platinum difficulty, and it's not quite ultra rare, but I feel like it should be. It's a very tough game. So for him to do that in 21 hours just tells me this guy has natural talent. He must be very, very good at fighting games. So that's already worth mentioning. And then a couple of Assassin's Creeds. You know, I'm not against Assassin's Creed. I like to see them in a list. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 Assassin's Creed. So not much to say about them. Just going to move on. But I like to see franchises in a row like that. I think that looks really cool. And even the multi-stacks, they're fine. And I like that you've got the Vita. I love me a Vita list. That's another reason why someone might message me and say, "You're gonna love my trophy list, dude." Is that you got the odd cool Vita game that I really enjoy, and I think I've started this on Vita. So this is probably the Assassin's Creed I'm most likely to play and finish is one on the Vita. Then we're looking at Atari Flashback Classics Volume 1. Ultra rare, but other than that, not much to say about it. It's very ultra rare, in fact, 1.01% and 8 out of 10. Didn't know that was that rare, so I might want to look into that. Battle Fantasia, never heard of that. And then you've got, I mean, casually glossing over Battle Fantasia, but it's a 0.65% ultra rare platinum. Has anyone heard of that? I certainly haven't. PS3 and 9.5 out of 10. I'm going to have to keep a separate list of things to look up after this because that's crazy. That's a crazy rarity already. And then we've got several Bayonettas. My God. So you like your kind of battle action games as well. Bayonetta over several regions. And yeah, they're fair difficulty, 6 out of 10s and stuff. And they're never quite ultra rare, are they? And I've got this, just haven't started it yet. So I would like to play some Bayonetta. And then we have Blade Arcus Rebellion from Shining. Well, that is a hell of a JRPG name if I've ever heard one. And that's taken you 10 months and 3 out of 10. So I'm getting already that you love super tough games, but then you quite like, the odd JRPG as well, even if it's 3 out of 10. And here's Blade Strangers, again, another game I haven't heard of. Even that's teetering on the edge of ultra rare. Oh, now this I love to see. Look at all these Blaze Blues, man. Oh, so cool. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Blaze Blue Platinums with a couple of multi-stacks, but none of them auto-popped whatsoever. Although, I'm not sure how that one took you 2 days, 4 hours, but this one took you a year. Maybe you just really knew what you were doing by that point. And these ones are Vita ones, so I would love to play this on Vita. I think I do have it. I myself only have, I'm going to say I have Central Fiction. I got that this year. And a few years ago I got Cross Tag Battle, and Cross Tag Battle is very easy. So these are like anime fighters, high execution. I mean, they're just what they are. They're very good games. I love the characters in them. But CurseBanette will be able to tell you, the actual fighting game kind of terminologies of them and what they're most similar to. I guess they're most like In Birth and maybe Guilty Gear to an extent. But they're good games. I really like them. There hasn't been a new Blaze Blue for ages, and they're by Arc System Works, who do Guilty Gear and the other anime games like Dragon Ball and stuff. But yeah, brilliant. I love to see that. 11 Platinums is super impressive, so that's already one of my favourites, kind of fighting game series appearing on this list, so happy to see that. They were chilling out with Blue Reflection, so after all these ultra rares just in a row, we've got, I think this is a visual novel. So maybe you've got the odd visual novel here. Breakers Collection. These are some really old games. These are like Neo Geo, I think. I knew there was a collection, but I've not really looked into them. They are fighting games, so, but just not ones I'm familiar with. Bright Memory Infinity. I think that's a visual novel. No, that looks like JRPG to me. A very short JRPG, maybe. Have to look into that. Call of Duty Classic. Okay, a couple of games that everyone will know. Call of Duty Classic, 8 out of 10, and Modern Warfare 2. So quite a strange selection, considering how many Call of Duties there are. You've only got Classic and the newer Modern Warfare 2. My Call of Duty Platinums are more like the older PS3 ones. I think I've got Modern Warfare 2 and... God, that might be it. I think I got Call of Duty Modern Warfare when they re-released it. They're a bit of a mess, my Call of Duty PlayStation list, to be fair. And then something I'm very familiar with, Capcom Fighting Collection. Capcom are probably my favourite developer. You got Monster Hunter, Resi, Devil May Cry, all the fighting games, Street Fighter, everything that I love, Marvel vs. Capcom. And these games really do collect a lot of them together. So this first one I have the platinum for. This is full of Darkstalkers, I believe. And I think Fighting Collection 2 is more Capcom versus SNK. So I've played a lot of this. Darkstalkers, Red Earth, Cyberbots, which is a very obscure fighting game. So this one's well worth playing. I haven't bought this yet. Just spending 60 quid on loads of old fighting games is very tempting for me, but I'm trying to space out my new purchases. Battlefield 6 was this month as well, and God, it's just 70 quid a whack for new games. It's just insane to me. I'm very much wait for it to go on sale unless I really want it, super want it. But these are good to see. Not ultra rare, but there's a hell of a lot of gameplay in these games, and there's more collections to come, I'm sure, on this list. Probably expect the Marvel vs. Capcom one later. And then you've got Catherine Full Body, which is an old PS3 game, and that was remastered for PS4. That is like, God, it's such a strange game. It's half dating sim, half puzzle game from what I know of it. But yeah, I've never played it myself. Chaos Code, I think I've heard of Chaos Code, but that is very sneakily an ultra rare. For 10 hours, not a terribly long ultra rare. Combat Monaro, no idea what that is, and not ultra rare, so we'll move on, but cool. Crystal Crisis, I love the name of that. That's awesome. 2 days, 1 hour, nearly ultra rare, and 20 trophies. I have to look that one up. Danganronpa, a few of them, very popular visual novel series. I've not played very many visual novels, but obviously I'm a huge fan of Steins Gate. I want to expand, Steins Gate's like the crucible of visual novel. There's not much better than it from what I hear, and they're the only ones I've played, so I can't make any other informed decision on the visual novel genre. But I want to play more of them, and I feel like they're very cool Vita games. If I want to play a visual novel, it's going to be on the Vita, where I'm sitting down somewhere, other than a desk, because I love gaming on the Vita. I'm a very Vita-centric person. And then I see Dante's Inferno, and how does that have unobtainable trophies? This was not a multiplayer game. Maybe it's DLC? I'm not sure if I got the DLC for it. 10 obtainable trophies, jeez. Yep, DLC. That is all DLC. Trials. Maybe it's not downloadable anymore? Interesting. But yeah, I have this platinum, and this was the ill-fated developer of Dead Space, who, for the hell of me, I can't remember who that is. But this was their last game they did before being absolved or let go of, and yeah, they just never got to do Dead Space 4, which is very sad. And then another similar game to that, Dark Souls and Dark Souls Remastered. Interesting that you're like a Dark Souls purist. It's only Dark Souls 1, none of the others. So you're missing 2, 3, a couple of multi-stacks there. Demons, which I don't think you have, unless it shows up later. I'm not going to say demons yet, maybe you've got demons. So yeah, definitely Dark Souls. Some of my favourite games, they're just amazing. I still have to do demons, but maybe we'll talk about that when we get to them, if they're here. Dead Island Definitive Edition on PS4. I played this the other day. I've got this is one of my low percentage games that I tried to just kind of start again to, get the feel for it and see if I wanted to get the platinum. I think I managed to run over 100 zombies in a boat, got a gold trophy, and I just turned it off. So now I have a couple of trophies, 1 gold, and now it's 10% or something. Something I want to get back to, but it's got a heavy, you can see the game session there, a heavy co-op focus in the trophy list, which can always be a little problematic for trophy hunters. And now we have, lovely, loads of Dead or Alives, and I can see one of my favourites here already, even though I haven't played it, Dead or Alive 5 Plus. Now this one, I'm not sure what makes the Vita Dead or Alive 10 out of 10, so I'm very interested in that. I've played all the others, and Dead or Alive 5 has 3 stacks. You got Ultimate, you got 2 last rounds. I've got 2 or 3 of these. I don't know why I've not got the 3rd one. But yeah, brilliant games, really. They get a lot of unfair flack for, the characters. Obviously, jiggle physics in these games are a thing. That's the headline for these games. But underneath all that, is a brilliant fighting game with massive combos, really good mechanics, and I loved them. And I really like Dead or Alive 6. I didn't get it at launch, which I regret, because the online wasn't as active as it was when it first released. But I've still had some good sessions on Dead or Alive 6, and I'm always hoping for a 7th entry. I really hope for one. But yeah, my favourite here is the Vita game, which I have played. I just haven't got it on my main system, so I haven't earned any trophies for it. And I imagine it's got a lot of multiplayer. Maybe that's why the 10/10. Maybe some trials, maybe survival or something, So maybe let me know about that. But 0.68% for the Vita version of the fighting game. Very cool, very, very cool. And then we have some Deceptions. Deception 4. No idea if the others had trophies, but these are ultra rare. Essentially the same game, I think. No, you got 4 Blood Ties and 4 Nightmare Princess. Not really sure if that's a re-release or a different region or what. But very ultra rare. So any JRPG heads out there will be able to let me know what kind of games these are and how good they are. You got Demon Gaze Extra. Not heard of that one, but I have heard of Demon Souls. So you have the original PS3 one, like I do. Wonderful. And I think this is my favourite Soulsborne. The PS3 version of Demon Souls is it's just so cool. I love the different areas and the hub, and just the music is some of my favourite in the whole series. And like me, you're missing the remake. I think I was just soulsed out by the time the remake came out on the PS5. I had it day one from the PS5 release. It's still the only PS5 worthy game maybe, but I just never sat down and got the platinum for it, so I still need to play that as well. So yeah, awesome platinum, 8 out of 10 and 10% rarity, very cool. And then you've got some games I haven't heard of, but they sound like Fighting Climax Ignition. Mental name, absolutely mental. Not quite ultra rare, but never heard of that one, so I'd like to see these 3. And they're the same game again, all 3 the same game, but just different regions, I believe. Oh no, 2 are the same, and then one with Ignition on the end. That probably adds a single character with some rebalance. That's usually what they do. And then, oh lordy, we got lots of Devil May Cries. 2, 4, 6, 7, 9 Devil May Cries, with only 5 entries, of course. So that is naturally a couple of multi-stacks between different versions of the game, PS3 and PS4. I love playing these games on the PS3. When they're on the PS4, they look a bit too sharp. I don't know if anyone knows what I mean by that. You play PS2 games on the PS4, they become very emulated looking, washed out and smoothed over. With the PS3, they retain some of that graininess, even though it is HD still. And I'm a big fan of playing games how they were meant to look at the time, but sometimes that doesn't work out. With all the the PS1 classics on the PS5, a lot of them are emulated and they're all smoothed out and they run a lot differently than they did. And for the better, let's not get me wrong here, they're definitely for the better. I like prefer jank. I like things that look terrible and play terrible. That's just me. And I haven't got a single Devil May Cry Platinum, which I'm really ashamed of actually. And I know I could load up 2 and get that at any time because these are the easiest games in the series. But they're, notoriously difficult platinums, aren't they? I've completed Devil May Cry 1 on the PS4, but I haven't done like a second playthrough or anything or tried for the harder trophies. I would like to dedicate a lot of time to them because I grew up playing these on the PS3. I never played 4. I've never played 4 and I've never played 5. And again, ashamed to say, that's only because of the trophies. I should put that aside and just play the game series that I grew up really enjoying, shouldn't I? I'm very silly. But yeah, they're good to see. And then, oh, cool. Here's a random fighting game you don't usually see. You got Dissidia Final Fantasy NT. Now, can't remember if this is the free-to-play version or not, but 2 weeks, 3 days. This gives me hope that maybe I could do this. And it's not terribly hard, but I think this one is a 3v3 Final Fantasy fighting game. So it's kind of like, it's not even 1v1, it's got to be 3v3, and all the trophies, I think, are to do with awards at the end, kind of like my own. They give you award, best damage and stuff like that, and character specific. But not gonna lie, I don't know too much about the platinum journey to get this. But 200 hours, that's the trophy guide saying you got that in 2 weeks. That's insane. That's like a good chunk of 2 weeks though. And of course, ultra rare, 2.07%. I would love a 1v1 Dissidia, but even better, I would like Square Enix to give Final Fantasy to like Arxis or someone and just do what they did to Dragon Ball, which I can see further down there actually. They should do a Final Fantasy 2D fighter and just go nuts with the characters. It would be so good. It'd be so good. And here's another cool game, DNF Duel. Something I really enjoyed when the beta came out, and I got along with it really well, and I thought, what a cool way to do a new fighting game. Really simple inputs. I think 2KXO has kind of taken the limelight from DNF Duel, because they both feature easy to use combos and controls, so every special move is a single button press with a direction, rather than your traditional Hadouken input, down to forward or Dragon Punch input. And you don't have to do like down forward, quarter circle, half circle, back to forward. It's nothing like that. It's just forward and square, up and square, down and X, forward and circle, And it just highlights that you don't need complicated inputs to have a cool fighting game, because fighting games are more about, your foundation, your neutral, your spacing, your patience, and your execution. Execution is just part of what makes fighting games fun to me. Saying all that, I never got DNF Duel, but I did enjoy the beta. And yeah, I'm looking forward to 2KXO coming to consoles so I can spend more time with a game that has that mentality. That's what I'm looking forward to. But yeah, this game looked beautiful. My god, the characters were so amazing. I'm pretty sure I've got some beta footage somewhere which I'll have to pop up here. So yeah, love to see them, and one ultra rare and one not ultra rare. So yeah, lovely. And then, my second platinum that I'm very jealous of, because I have this game, Doom 1, and there's a few stacks of this, but this one is the 8 out of 10, because there's a co-op trophy to do the whole first episode in Nightmare in co-op. And co-op in Doom is, I don't know, I just don't like it. It's insane. You spawn and you have to absolute beeline it, because every enemy you kill also respawns. So all your weapons and ammo are finity. They don't respawn, they don't reappear, but all the enemies do. So the whole point is you're meant to just absolutely leg it, gunning down everything, doing things as fast as possible, hoping to get the keys you need and the end level button. But without a co-op partner, it's near impossible. And I'm gonna try this on my own, because it's just split screen. It's not even online. You could do it through share play for a party, but a lot of organisation that I can't be bothered to do. So yeah, well done for getting this. That's a wicked ultra rare platinum that I wish I had. I mentioned this earlier, Dragon Ball FighterZ, another awesome fighting game by Arc System Works. Now, I love the look of this fighting game, but I'm not a Dragon Ball fan. I appreciate how influential it was, and how massive Dragon Ball obviously is, and the impact it's had on everything. But it's just not something I personally enjoyed or got to watch when I was younger. And now there's so much of it, it's like, where do I begin? How do you get into something so massively popular, and where to start? Saying that, I'm sure I would appreciate, the fighting game side of it, and I know they're hard games, and I have watched a few tournaments of it and thought, oh, that's pretty sick. So yeah, cool platinums again, and you got this one in 1 week, and the other one in 1 month. One of them's ultra rare, and the other one is not. So yeah, they're another cool fighting game series under your belt. And they're not your only Dragon Ball platinums. Now you got your more traditional anime fighter ones, along with the Dragon Ball RPGs. So I don't know too much about these games. I know they're a mix of that. I know Sparking Zero is the newest one that released probably this time last year, and that roster has a huge amount of characters. That's one thing I know Dragon Ball has, is a massive selection of different characters. But I never played any of the old arena type anime fighters, and I don't really get along with them. I have tried a couple of them, Naruto and maybe one of these Dragon Ball ones, and yeah, I just don't get them. I'm like, why isn't it not 2D? My simple fighting game brain can't comprehend anything that isn't on a 2D plane or like a Tekken 3D plane. That's it. So pretty basic, really. But yeah, they're cool to see. Loads of Dragon Ball plats. Dragon Guard 3, which is, I think that's still like Dynasty Warriors, but with dragons. And somehow these are near sequels or prequels. The whole series loses me a bit. I played Dragon Guard 1 on the PS2, I think, long time ago. Eternites, not heard of these, but not ultra rare, so maybe they're not all that. That's probably your fastest platinum so far that I can see, 8 hours. Fear 3, wow. Does this not have... I thought all the Fear games had unobtainable trophies. Otherwise I would have played them. So I'm playing something influenced by Fear at the moment, and that's called Trepang 2. Bullet time and more of a horror aspect FPS. So I might actually play this. Oh, these are lots of multiplayer stuff. This is just a personal interest of mine that I want to play a Fear game and get trophies. So yeah, cool. Thanks for that. I now know Fear 3 has trophies. Wonderful. Fantasy Strike. Another fighting game. This is a free-to-play game. And something I've never bothered to download. Although, Jesus Christ, you got the platinum for this. Here you go, everyone. If you want an ultra-rare platinum, 0.7% in 1 day, 4 hours. That's awesome. I mean, this should get everyone going. You can get an ultra rare in less than a couple of days, and it's only 4 out of 10. So maybe that's worth looking into. I know it's free to play though, so God knows what the actual game is like and gameplay. But yeah, that's something to consider. I know it's a fighting game, but that's cool. Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves. Something else I regret not buying day one. I still don't have it. I think the deluxe edition has been in my Amazon basket for, half a year now. And yeah, this is kind of what I figured. I didn't want to pay full price for a game that's only going to last a couple of days platinum-wise. Some fighting games are just like this. And yeah, I'm sure it's difficult. This is this version's an ultra rare, at least on the PS5. But some fighting games just need more content for me to get them day one, unless it's something, the closest fighting game to my heart is Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter and Tekken. They are like the basic three, but that's just what I love. Okay, so there's a lot more fighting games than those three, and this list is absolute proof of that. Absolute proof that there's more to fighting games than those big three. But City of the Wolves I know is wonderful, and I will get it one day. I think I just about got King of Fighters 15. I've got 14 to play. I bought 13 on the PS4. There's so many fighting games I've bought, don't really talk about because I just don't play them. I need to play them more to be good at them and to be able to talk to them more. Fight of Gods is an absolute insane fighting game, and not only because it's ultra rare. This game literally has you fighting as... Is this the one with Jesus? God, I don't know. All right, you got Zeus, you got Saint, that could be Jesus. You got Odin, Athena, Sif, Anubis. Yeah, this is the game of all. Santa. What is Santa doing in this game? My God. Yeah, this is a fighting game where you can have Santa fight Odin, and that's just how it is. Yeah, I've seen some videos of this, but you know, it's a fighting. I want to know what it's like. What is that game like, Curse? You gotta let me know, because that's funny as hell. And that took you 2 years. Jesus Christ! Imagine playing as Santa as your main character for 2 years. That's funny. All right, Fighting X Layer. That is, I think that's got something to do with ex-Capcom devs. I know one character in this, and he's called like Skullmania, but again, it's something I've had in my basket every now and again, but never committed to download and play. And then we're out of fighting game territory for a little bit. 2 Final Fantasies, and wow, this is really strange actually, because I mean, how many Final Fantasy games are there? You got 16 mainline, and then God knows how many spin-offs. You've got one of the most random sequels, Final Fantasy 13-2, and then Type 0 HD, which again is a very strange spin-off that hasn't got much to do with Final Fantasy in general. So I do wonder why you chose these 2 out of the literal, probably over, there's no joke here, probably over 40 Final Fantasy games that have platinums. What made you pick these 2? Very interesting. Fist of the North Star, that is a kind of, is that like a really quick time event kind of heavy action game? I think so. PS3 game. I've seen it in passing. Gigabash, I think this is on Plus or Catalog. I've wanted to play it because you giant kaiju, you're Godzilla, and this might be the game literally with Godzilla in. I'll have to remember that. But yeah, ultra rares, 2 stacks, and both in a week. This guy pummels out ultra rares. You look at your ultra rares, you look at my ultra rares, they're nothing in comparison to Curse, who has 99% of his trophies, and probably over half of them are ultra rares. I mean, it's dizzying to think about. But yeah, I'll move on, otherwise I'll just be lost in fascination. God Eater, another series I love, so I can see why Curse kept saying I would like his list. I love God Eater. I've only played these 2. Resurrection, which is a remake of number 1, and God Eater 3. I've got the platinum in 3, but Resurrection I thought I completed, and I was like, hang on, I'm nowhere near the bloody platinum. And I was like, well, that's funny, there must be loads of mop-up to do. Turns out I'm only halfway through, because the Resurrection includes like the expansions as well. Then I just stopped playing it. I was like, nah man, I can't play another 50 hours of this, or however long I had. But I do like them. I load it up every now and again. They are Monster Hunter imitators to me, but I think they're my favourite imitator of Monster Hunter. I'm pretty sure Monster Hunter would have come first. It's its whole genre now, really. And they're cool, very anime centric, but you're still fighting massive creatures co-op with really cool weapons, and there's a lot to like. I have this one purchased, but that's another 90 hours after, I've got to finish Resurrection first, so maybe in a few years I'll be able to get round to this one, I don't know. But yeah, cool series, and a nice little stack there. And then, we've got all the Grand Blues. So I have recently got this one this year, Fantasy Versus. They then re-released it into Rising, which Curse has 2 stacks here, as you can see. And yeah, they're brilliant fighting games again. Wonderful anime, based on, I'm not sure if the IP is anime or it's another type of game. But the characters are awesome, and they look really cool. Like the actual animations and the flow of the fights and the supers. I really enjoyed it, and a really good single player mode as well. You're just going island to island, and instead of 1v1, it's like you versus loads of normal enemies, and you can do all your fighting game moves in this environment whilst you're fighting, giant bosses. And yeah, I really enjoyed that versus. I haven't gone on to Rising because I think it's the same content other than more characters rebalancing, so pretty much more of the same, just a kind of more fancy package. So yeah, they're good to see. And just when you thought he played nothing but JRPGs and fighting games, he goes and has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Grand Theft Auto Platinums. I see these a lot on lists and videos and stuff, and obviously they're well worth talking about. Not many, none of these are actually ultra rare, but I think that's because of the volume of people who play them. They're quite notorious in being, giant open world games with a lot of collectibles as well. And of course, 4 is ultra rare. That's a massive commitment. That one, 100% at 0.51%. Very cool. So I've said this before. If I were to play one again, I probably have most association with Grand Theft Auto 3, because I remember buying it and bought that in Sainsbury's when I was, God knows how old, definitely not 18, a lot younger. Vice City I grew up with, and San Andreas. So yeah, these are like my favourites that I would play. I've started 4 and 5, and yeah, I just need to sit down and play them, I think. But yeah, nice, good to see. As well as Guilty Gear. So we've got Zerd Sign, Revelator, Strive, and Strive again. Are you missing any? Is there like Alpha Plus or something? There's quite a few Guilty Gears, and there's definitely 100%, which probably shows up later on your 100%. I'm very curious what your 100% will look like, actually, the games without Platinums, because there's a lot of fighting games that don't have Platinums, so yeah, that would be fun to see. But yeah, these are great, and I've started all of these. I have the Platinum in none of them. I think I could get the Platinum in Strive quite easily. I only have 1 or 2 trophies left, maybe. And I feel like a Guilty Gear tourist. I load them up, I know some of the characters, and I have fun, but I don't dedicate myself to them. I wouldn't play them for not, without trophies. I wouldn't load them up and play them. And that's not how I like to feel about fighting games. I like to load them up to play, to enjoy, to be competitive, to learn. And there's only so much space I can allocate for that, Well, game space on the hard drive, but space in my heart and in my brain, I can only have so much. And Guilty Gear is just on the wayside for me. It's unfortunately full of Tekken characters and Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, and even they intersect and I lose knowledge when I learn something else. Yeah, but Guilty Gear is wonderful, and I would love to get the Platinum in at least Strive in one of the stacks. Probably, I think I have the PS5 stack. My god, 5 hours. Is that all I pop? Probably not. I think Curse did this in 5 legit hours. He just woke up and was like, time to Platinum Strive again. That's insane. And yeah, from one crazy Platinum to another, you have, I'm going to say this now, this is going to be your rarest Platinum, 0.22%. This Platinum is notoriously rare, and I can't even remember why it is. I think it's because of the Star Labs challenges, which, from memory, okay, that's not the rarest trophy here. It is complete battle mode, whatever that is. And then Star Labs are like missions with star ratings and stuff. But yeah, I know this is a crazy Platinum, and it's just so NRS. It's so NetherRealm, the type of game it is. I just love how you can see, if you follow NetherRealm, the developer of this fighting game, you can see the DNA from Injustice 1 to MK versus DC or whatever the order was. You can kind of match it up. Even Injustice 2 to MK11 to MK1, it's all there. It's all every new thing they implement and try. The DNA strand is just threaded through each one of them. So I do like that about them. And yeah, obviously we're at MK1 now in terms of NetherRealm. And I look forward to what they do next. Maybe it will be another Injustice. But yeah, I don't think anything's going to be as rare as this. So I'm calling that now. 0.22% is your rarest Platinum. J-Star's Victory Versus. That is a fighting game, I'm sure. That's a near ultra rare, but not quite. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle. Is that a JoJo fighting game? I didn't know. I know there's a few JoJo games, but is this like your run-of-the-mill anime arena fighter? That's what I'm guessing, at least. I've not seen the anime either, so not something I have much affinity with. You're definitely an anime fan, though. Here's Jump Force, which is like... Isn't this the anime all-star game where you can beat everyone? I might be wrong. It's definitely anime. It's definitely anime. Probably wrong about that. But here's another anime, Kill La Kill. Another one. And, ooh, what the hell is this? Kolame Enbu Ryo Rai Rai. No idea what that is. Can't even say the name, yet alone normal words. But, you know, something I've never heard of is casually a 10 out of 10, 250 hours, 0.64% platinum. Just your run-of-the-mill thing for Curse, probably. But no, that, to be fair, that took him 3 years, so that's worth looking into, whatever that is. And then you got some Kung Fu Panda. I love Kung Fu Panda. I actually sat down and watched Kung Fu Panda 4 the other day for the first time, and it was brilliant. Someone who loves fighting games, Kung Fu Panda does its, you know, its fighting scenes really well. Very cool. And look, these are ultra rare as well. 0.79. Curse doesn't care. He's just like, as long as it's a fighting game, I don't really care the context, and he just platinum them. I like that. Last Rebellion. That looks like a visual novel to me, so we're going to stick with that. Lollipop Chainsaw, that's in your Devil May Cry blood, isn't it? And I have this on PS3, 13%, very nice. And then some more casual ultra rare fighting game platinums. Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. I said we'd be seeing that later, didn't I? And then you got Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. So I have NVCI. That was really tough for me. You did that in 4 days, 3 hours. This guy's natural talent must be insane, and either he's an egomaniac and he wants people to acknowledge how good he is, or he's genuinely like, you know, doesn't get much attention, and he's found someone who's really going to love his trophy list, and he wants me to look at it. So either way, I'm impressed, dude. This took me years. I got to 97%, and I couldn't do the trials. I couldn't do I think it's complete trials with 3 or 4 characters. It's not even a huge amount. We go to it and sort by rarity. Yeah, that's the easy one. This is the rarest one, but I found that really easy to get the rank. I played it early on when no one was good, so I think I lucked out on that. Complete all missions for 5 different characters. This is what I struggled on. And they're the trials. Missions are trials, right? And I just couldn't find a 4th and 5th character to do it with. And I sat on it for probably about a year before I went back and gave it another go. And, you know, it's fine once I got used to it, but there's so many inputs, and I just know Curse is a god at fight. I'd love to play him at whatever he fancies, and I just know he would wreck me. And much as I talk about fighting games and I love them, I'm intermediate at best. You know, I'm pretty average at them. Maybe just above average in fighting games. I don't know, but I'm confident he would wreck me, and I'm fine with that, man. I'm fine. What I lack in natural talent, I make up for in passion and love for these games. You know, I absolutely adore them, and that's not even the. That is the hardest one out of those. So maybe I could definitely get this one if I bought it. The collection, that one's easy. But Fate of Two Worlds, PS3, maybe I could get that. A lot of trials in that as well. Melty Blood. Now this is something I've wanted to play for ages. It's an old PS3. This is PS4 version, but it's an old PS3 fighting game, another anime game. Most like Under Night in Birth, which is again the same kind of vein of anime fighting game. They're just both really cool, but this is the one I haven't played, and it's a shorter one. You only got it in a day, so yeah, I could probably hopefully do the same. Something I think is on catalog, and I've just wanted to download and play, but I haven't. So yeah, that will be for me to play sometime. Oh wow, I'm super surprised in a second, but first of all, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, wonderful game. I've not played it. I know it's 10 out of 10, and that is a well-worthy 10 out of 10 ultra rare platinum. So very cool there. Something I've wanted to give a go and, you know, dedicate my time to. I would like to play that. But what I was surprised at is you've only got the single Mortal Kombat Platinum. Now, considering that what I think is your rarest is Injustice 1, I wonder why you haven't tried other NetherRealm games. So you're missing a lot of Mortal Kombats, obviously. 10, 11, 9 on the Vita, 9 on the PS3, and they're unobtainable now. MK vs DC, which is my rarest. So, yeah, I'm curious as to whether you'll go back to 11, maybe you'll load up 10. They're all very obtainable still, those three at least. And what you thought of Mortal Kombat 1, because it launched in a rough state, a very rough state, but the gameplay was good, just was a bit unsure about the cameo system. For anyone who doesn't know, MK1 has almost a tag team system, but they're more like Marvel vs. Capcom assists. You'd call in these other characters who would then do stuff, they would do moves for you. But in MK1, you have a separate pool of characters who are your cameos, whereas in Marvel vs. Capcom, you can be anyone and everyone in any combination. And I found it annoying that characters I loved, like Jax, for example, were only a cameo in MK1, whereas in other games he's a fully fledged playable character. That was a bit annoying. But other than that, I did enjoy it, but yeah, it's dead now. MK1 is dead, rest in peace. And then my hero one's Justice, another anime game that I'm not very familiar with. Naruto Ninja Storm? How many Naruto fighting games are there? There's got to be a dozen at least. So you've only played this one, and maybe you platinumed it out of obligation. I'm not sure. And then we've got Nier. Wonderful. I knew Nier was coming because of you had Drakengard, so they go hand in hand. Again, something I haven't played, and I should, I guess, maybe. Again, it's time. 60 hours. That's a long time. And, I've never seen these on a list before. I've played Knights of Azure, and it's such a random action RPG anime game, and I don't know what to say about it. Like, I just loaded it up from catalog one day, and I just sat there and I played it. It was pretty good. It was all right. Very run-of-the-mill. Graphics were terrible. Music was good though. I really liked the music in it, and it was kind of cute as well. So yeah, I do recommend that if you find that on catalog and you fancy an RPG, not an RPG, like an action game, then it is pretty cool. Oh yeah, I'm not surprised you got Ninja Gaidens. These are 10 out of 10. Now these are like even higher than Devil May Cry. These are true 10 out of 10, absolute bastard hard platinums. And I have the collection, the PS4 collection, and I've just not loaded them up yet because I know I'd be terrible at them, but God, I want to be good at them. And Ninja Gaiden 4 looks amazing. I'm someone who grew up on Ninja Gaiden on the NES. That's my affinity with Ninja Gaiden, is that I grew up with it when I was very, very young. Very young. So I've always loved the series. I've just never been very good at the later entries whatsoever. And I want to get back into it, 30 years too late, but I still want to do it. So they're cool to see, and obviously, these are teetering on ultra rare, but egomaniacs go for them. That's why that's not ultra rare. 6% for a 10 out of 10 platinum is insane. But yeah, very cool, very cool. And then we've got Nitro Plus Blasters with a Z, Heroine's Infinity Jewel. That's a mouthful, fucking hell. But yeah, cool. I like that. I've never heard of it, but it looks great. Odin Sphere. Yeah, I have this. I played this on a bit of Vita and on the PS4. Wonderful games. They're like action RPG side scroller. The art on it is beautiful. I'd highly recommend this game. Lots of leveling, lots of different characters, and it's like a little mini Devil May Cry, a 2D Devil May Cry in a fantasy world. Really cool games with great boss fights as well. So yeah, anyone who gets to play that is in for a good time. One Piece Burning Blood, another anime game that I can't visualize the game. I know what the anime looks like, but I can't visualize the game. This is crazy. Painkiller. This is like alternative 2010 Doom. This is alternative 2010 Doom. I've gotten a trophy in this recently. It's something I loaded it up, and I hadn't had a trophy in it for like 15 years, and I just made one pop the other day. Cool game, and a new one's just come out, although it's been bastardized into some kind of wave-based arena shooter, whereas this one, the better one, has a cool campaign, and you're just fighting demons and hellspawn, and yeah, it's very cool, very cool. Good music as well, very good music. Persona 4 Golden, and then all those are Personas. You got all the arenas. The Ultimax Ultra Suplex. Oh god, I've never heard of that one. Persona 5, yep, these are cool. So this is a mix of some mainline games, but mostly they're the fighting ones. The arena ones are all the fighting games. And these are bastard hard. Not quite as rare as your 0.22%, but I'm willing to bet this might be in your top 5 rarest platinums, this arena. Because this is a 10 out of 10 fighting game. 0.4%. On the PS3, no less. So yeah, that's crazy. And I've never played these fighting games, and I'm unfamiliar with the Persona characters, other than Joker. He's bloody everywhere. He's in Smash Brothers, for Christ's sake. But I'm not familiar with the other characters, so for me, I would load into it like it was just another fighting game. I don't have any affinity from the RPG. But that must be cool for Persona fans, that you got a fully dedicated fighting game for it. So that's nice. Phantom Breaker Omnia, never heard of that one. Prince of Persia, a single Prince of Persia game. There's like 10 of them, right? So yeah, I wonder why you never played one of them again. And that was recent. That was, well, I say recent, that was 6 months ago. So yeah, nice random PS3 Prince game. Psyche Delicia of the Ashen Hawk. Absolutely butchered that name. And this is probably your... It's funny that I get to point out these two are your probably 2 least rarest platinums. You know, a lot of times in these reviews, it's hard to find the ultra rares. In your list, it's more fun to point out the ones that aren't ultra rare, which are these two. These got to be visual novels. And yeah, 2 years, that makes sense. And this one, 2 hours. 2 hours and 2 years. That's a big difference. But yeah, nice to see some normal platinum rarities in your list. Pure, that's like an ATV motorbike game, isn't it? So you got a odd racing game, nearly ultra rare. Quantum Theory, not heard of that. Rabby Ribby, that's got to be a JRPG or something. Vita game and 3% rarity, very cool. Rage of the Dragons Neo. We're getting a lot of random games that I don't actually know what these are at the moment. But these are quicker games, obviously, 40% and 30%. So good to see some normal rarity games again. And you've got an older Ratchet and Clank. Nice to see... I see so many Ratchet and Clanks in a lot of the lists. I don't think I've seen this one before. And if I have, it's one of the older ones that doesn't come up much. So that's nice to see. And you got Ruby, Grim Eclipse. I love Ruby. I think those characters are so cool. Weiss and Ruby and whoever else. They're just like cool girls with massive weapons. Yeah, weapons, that's right. Yeah, that's an old like 2000s kind of anime. I think it started off as a web comic or a web kind of show. Can't remember. But yeah, there's a lot to like about Ruby. I didn't expect this. So you've actually got more Saints Row Platinums than you do Grand Theft Auto, or at least maybe the same amount. So you must like Saints Row and Grand Theft Auto, you know, that open world kind of genre. I've never played Saints Row. I've just about played Grand Theft Auto, so I had not much interest in like a parody of that open world game. Like, how can you enjoy a parody if you don't enjoy the original material? Doesn't work for me. Does not work. But they're nice to see. Ah, cool. You never see Samurai Showdown Platinums. Very nice. So you have 2 stacks? Yeah, 2 stacks of Samurai Showdown. I have this. It doesn't take long, this one. Yeah, one day for a Samurai Showdown Platinum is legit. And yeah, brilliant games. I like the older ones. I see you got the Neo Geo collection here. Again, that's something I knew wouldn't... Yeah, look, 5 hours. I'll get this on offer. If there's multiplayer trophies, I'll probably boost them now. It's not something I'm going to buy day one for like 40 quid, but that will have all the Samurai Showdown games. The PS4 one is like a reboot. Before that, there were... God, I don't know. 8 or 9 Samurai Showdowns, not including like special versions and stuff. So there's a lot to like in that game. It's known for heavy neutral, big attacks that do massive damage. It's more like if you get one small combo, you're dead, or at least 80% of your health is gone. The heavy hits in this, they hit heavy. So yeah, that's quite a cool game. I like that a lot. Never heard of Senran Kagura, Peach Beach Splash. I love saying it though, my god. Zero Sam, a couple of them. Oh, quite a few actually, 4 of them. That's the most serious Sam plats I've ever seen. I don't have any myself, but these are Doom clones, you know. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, Serious Sam appeared, and it's just a big soldier guy, I think. And yeah, it's a good alternative to Doom. Not as good, not as popular, but worth playing. They're still fun. Shining Resonance Refrain, not heard of that one. And then Shuyan Saga. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of these. Maybe these are... Nope, no idea. Not going to guess. Visual novel, fighting game. They could be anything. So I'll just move on from them, to be honest. Silent Hill 2 HD. Wonderful. Well, terrible version, actually, because the remastered HD version removes all the fog, which was a byproduct of the limitations of the console. So it is a really funny remaster when you watch a Silent Hill game without any fog present. I've wanted to get this because, well, it's notoriously pretty hard. I remember there's a boat segment or something where you mess up the trophy. Loads of different endings as well, and pretty clunky and difficult game. So yeah, I can see why someone who likes ultra rare platinums will want to go for this game, because yeah, it's pretty up there. I've always wanted this game. I've never bought it though. SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy. This game has Terry, who is pretty much the poster boy for fighting game SNK. You know, King of Fighters. He's in Street Fighter 6. He's in Smash Brothers. You know, he's probably one of the most popular SNK characters. This has Terry as a girl. Terry with boobs is in SNK Heroines. It's the only reason I want it. I want to play this game. I don't know if it's any good and how long it takes. 15 hours, but this one took you 10 months. Maybe it's not that great. And then you got SNK versus Capcom. This is a recent re-release, and I don't think this game is considered very good. Can't remember. There's so many SNK versus Capcom variations, and I think this was the best version, like a re-release, if you will. But I'll have to look into it. I'd buy this on offer and play the hell out of it like I would anything else. Soul Calibur 2 HD Online. My god, I honestly forget that this is a thing. And is it obtainable still? Because I don't see any unobtainable shit here. There's Ivy. God, I love Ivy. God, I have no idea. If this is obtainable, I've got to download this right now. Master weapons, unlockable characters, survival. Is there online stuff here? Here you go. Fought 10 times. Interesting. Wow, okay, I want this. I love Soul Calibur 2. Wonderful game. And Soul Calibur as a whole. So this is another series that I have more affinity with than some of the others on your list. And I see you've got, I think you've got all the ones available. 2, 5, and 6. There's a few stacks of, I think there's a few stacks of 6. I can't remember. But I've gotten this platinum this year. I'm working on 5, but again, that's taking you a little while. This one's a bit harder. And I just didn't know about Soul Calibur 2 online. I forgot that was a thing. I'm definitely going to look into that. That's very cool. Spec Ops The Line. Brutal, wonderful third-person shooter that really spins everything on its head. You've probably seen this game on lists and people talk about it. It's well worth the hype. Everyone should play it. It's brilliant. It is just brilliant. Hopefully it's not been spoiled too much nowadays, because this is a very old game. But yeah, wicked. I love that game. Split Second as well is meant to be a good racing game from what I know, but I don't know much about it. Not gonna lie. I've heard it's good. Ultra rare, so that's nice to see. No, oh my god, you got Star Ocean Platinums. This game, I grew up playing this on PS2. I love this JRPG. It is wonderful, but I know the platinum for this is insane. Yeah, battle trophies. That's what takes a long time here. That's the rarest trophy here. So you probably didn't know I like Star Ocean, because I don't think I've ever talked about Star Ocean, but I love this game. There's one scene, and I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. Someone's dying on a bed, surrounded by their friends. They die, and then someone at the bed also dies from sorrow. And it's like a double whammy of like, oh god, they're dead. It is insane. that's always stuck with me, and I can't remember why or how, or even if it was in this game, but it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, and I love it. I'm pretty sure this is one of the PS2 ones I grew up playing, and they're great RPGs, very cool. But I'm put off by these battle trophies because there's so many, and there's New Game Plus and all sorts, and that's why it's the rarest trophy, and that's also why it takes bloody 500 hours. Let that sink in. 500 hours for a single PS2 re-released JRPG for 1.37 platinum. That is commitment. That there is exemplifies this list. That is the dedication of this list. Everything else is child's play, but this is, regardless of skill, this is 500 hours. That is a time kind of platinum there. So yeah, keep that in mind for later. Right, Star Wars Force Unleashed 2 only, not 1. Didn't play 1 for some reason. Steins Gate, yeah, good lad. Alright, I love Steins Gate. And if anything, it means I need to play more visual novels, because obviously there's so many visual novels with stories that will make you feel shit. This game makes me feel, man. This game makes my heart bleed. And at face value for a trophy hunter, 1 out of 10, 30 hours, you know, this could be shovelware. These stats could be shovelware. But it is one of my favourite stories of all time. I will never stop gushing about Steins Gate because I love it. Absolutely love it. So happy to see them there. Highly recommend Zero. I've completed My Darling's Embrace, which is a spin-off game which does loads of justice to the side characters. And there's one I haven't played, which I can't remember the name of, which is another like side spin-off story. But yeah, brilliant series. Highly recommend. I don't know if no one's ever played or watched Steins Gate, should they watch the anime first or play the game first? I don't know. Probably the anime. I watched the anime first, then I went to the game, and I've remained a massive fan, you know, regardless. So yeah, I'd probably recommend that. Watch the anime, then play the game, because there's a lot. At least then you're getting like the canon ending in your head for the anime, and then you can go and play the games and see all the alternative routes. That's what I like. Okay, wonderful. Here we go. Some more stuff. Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter X Tekken twice, and Super Street Fighter 4. Wonderful. These are all ultra rares. Every single one of them. And, you know, Street Fighter 4 reinvented fighting games in the 2010s. The arcade era ended and Street Fighter 4 resurrected home console fighting games. And we have so much to be thankful, you know, because of this game, regardless of how it ended with, you know, Super and the characters they introduced. You know, every game's got worse versions than the other, but yeah, this is just a brilliant game, and it's so frame perfect, and needs so much skill to be good at it, and I never was very good at it, unfortunately. And this came out at a time where I wasn't into fighting games as much as I am now. I always loved them, always enjoyed playing them, but frame data? No idea. Neutral? Footsies? What are they? I haven't got a clue. I could just about do a Dragon Punch or a Super, but I loved them. And I'm better at them now, but I'm a late bloomer with, you know, frame data and knowing about terminology and how to play them. And even now, like I said earlier, I'm probably just intermediate. I'm not that good. I'm a gold rank kind of guy, you know, Tekken King kind of guy. I could probably do more if I applied myself, but I'm happy where I am, if that makes sense. I'm happy with the time I give to it and what I get out of them. That's me. I can love them, I can enjoy watching them, I can be kind of okay at them, and I can love talking about them. That's me in fighting games, and I don't pretend to be, you know, anything other than that. So, seeing this natural talent of CurseBanette just, you know, whack these out in 2 weeks or 5 days or 3 months for Super, that's insane. That's insane. If nothing else exemplifies this list for you guys, then getting Super Street Fighter 4 in 3 months it's just crazy. It's just crazy. So out of these, I have Street Fighter 5, which is probably my hardest platinum. It's not my rarest, but it's probably my hardest platinum I have. And that's just getting to Gold League, which I think for CurseBanette would probably be nothing. You know, Gold League is just a stepping stone on the way to Master for Street Fighter 5. So, yeah, that's just really really impressed, very impressed as a whole, to be honest. And we're probably nearing the end of your list soon. And yeah, I love it, man. I love it already. So yeah, well done, mate. Very cool games. So on some RPGs, got some Tales games. I don't know much about these games. I think I loaded up Tales of Arise, and I was like, what the hell is going on? And I turned it off. I need to play more JRPGs. You're definitely a JRPG kind of player, which I respect. But yeah, some of these ultra rare, some aren't, and that's about it. I know that I'm not sure if they have anything connected to each other. They're always a different story, but a shared universe, perhaps. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's like a Final Fantasy kind of situation or they're completely different. And you got the Cowabunga collection. This might be the easiest platinum in your list, actually, because you can totally cheat to get these games. I don't know if you did, but you can watch playthroughs of the game. So you open a collection, there's like 20 games or whatever. You watch someone play Ninja Turtles on SNES, and you can watch a playthrough, and the point of it is so you can learn the boss patterns and stuff without actually playing it. But in this game, you can then jump in and take control over their playthrough. So it's like a dev playthrough, and he gets right to the end of Shredder or whatever, the end boss. You can then take over and get the last hit, minimal work, get the last hit, and then get the completion trophy. And yeah, that's insane. I got that on a couple of them. I played the probably the same reason Curse played these was because the Tournament Fighter is in this, which is an old Street Fighter Turtles rip-off game that I played start to finish legitly. But I'm not ashamed to admit the other ones, the SNES and the NES games, they're too hard for me. They're way too hard. But that's why this is such a low rarity, because you can just play it like that. You can just play the playthroughs and take over at any time, which is quite funny. Wow, my only solace in this whole list, Curse, is that I have more Tekken Platinums than you do somehow. 6, 7, 8, 2, and HD. I have... Oh, no, maybe I don't. God, is that them all? Probably is. Bugger. Shit. I thought I did. No, I don't. Because that's what it is. Yeah, 6, 7, 8, 2, HD. I was thinking of the 100%, which is Tekken 2 Tag Prologue, and another random free-to-play one they did, so yeah, never mind. I was going to say, I'd be surprised if you didn't have every Tekken Platinum, because they're so easy. They're the easiest fighting game Platinums there are. Not the easiest game, maybe, but definitely the easiest Platinums. But yeah, cool to see. Probably my favourite fighting game franchise. It might be the one I'm best at. Might be the one I spent most time on. Definitely the one that I play without trophies in mind. And just put that in perspective, my highest rank is Tekken King at the moment in Season 2. In Tekken 7, I don't think I got higher than Mighty Ruler, which is very intermediate indeed. Would love to play them more, but I'm on a break at the moment. They annoy me like no end, so when I don't play them for months, and then I start it up again. But yeah, cool to see. It really rounds off all your fighting game Platinums, and yeah, it's been a joy to look at. A joy. And then Godfather 2, one of the best fighting... No, I'm joking. Godfather 2, open world game, I think. Never played it, so I don't know that. And, I thought we were done with the fighters. Of course we're not. We have King of Fighters. We have the collection 13, and I know that is insane, that one. And you've got it twice. You've got the re-release and the PS3 one, which is, yeah, that's nuts. They are, 0.96%. Very impressive. And then 14, which is a newer one, and 15. I don't really like how 14 and 15 look. 13 was the last one to use like the pixel art style, but even that looked different compared to the older ones. My favourites are probably in this Orochi Saga, which are some of the older ones, and really fun games. A lot of characters to love, and very execution heavy. They've always been more execution heavy than Street Fighter and certainly Tekken and Mortal Kombat. Like some of the gymnastics you have to do with your hands to pull off the simplest of moves or combos in this game series is, it's a lot. And it's probably why I don't play them that much, because some games will literally make my hands hurt, and this would be one of them. And then we've got Last of Us Part 2 and Remastered. I need a Last of Us Platinum, man. My list is so messy with Last of Us, but happy to see them. Order 1886, very underrated game. I think this game has aged like fine wine because it got a lot of flack for its length. It's not a long game, 8 hours. Yeah, you got it in a single session, I think. Yeah, just imagine playing full price for this game though, and then playing it for 5 hours and being done with it. You know, a trophy hunter would be done with it in 8 hours, but a normal person just playing it through, would be done in 6 hours, and they'd be like, oh, well that's that then. But the graphics are so good, the story's awesome, the characters are great, and I always, fighting game related, I always enjoyed playing as Sir Galahad, the main character in Order, in PlayStation All Stars, which is a fighting game that you don't have, I don't think. So I've got that on you at least. Alright, Rumblefish 1 and 2. Oh no, both 2, never mind. Don't know what they are, I think I've heard of them. No idea. Arcade mode. Fighters? No idea. I've heard of them, but not at the same time, not really. 7 Deadly Sins. Don't know what that is. Anime, I believe. Oh no. Okay. I actively dislike this fighting game. Them's Fighting Herds. Right, imagine My Little Pony, but look at that art. My God. My Little Pony, but as a fighting game, and that is what this game is. It's just not my cup of tea. It is just not my cup of tea. You know, there's not much to say about it. Maybe it's a good fighting game. Maybe it's very popular. It's just not for me. I don't like how it looks. The characters creep me out, personally. But still, ultra rares. Got to respect the ultra rares. And I respect that they took you a day. I could probably play this for a day for an ultra rare, you know. I'm happy to do that. That's fine. Look how strange Tomb Raider looks in between like all your other games. And by that I mean like Tomb Raider is like a normal AAA, very Western experience, right? You know, it is what it is. It's Lara Croft. Everyone knows it. Your list is amazing in that it's got so many games that people don't know. It's quite obscure. Like fighting games in itself is quite a niche genre, and the majority of your list is fighting games, which I love to see. Fighting games, JRPGs, visual novels, the odd FPS, and other than that, it's just obscurity, which is really cool. It's a very, very unique trophy list, and you're right, man. I love it. I love your list. It's very cool. Speaking of which, never heard of these. Tohu Kabuto 5 and others. No ultra rares. Single ultra rare. Okay. Oh no, that's Tomb Raider. Bloody hell. No ultra rares, but some nearly. I'm guessing these are anime fighting games, but I don't really know. I think this is your most recent one, 29th October, because I think this was on your banner image at the top there. So yeah, let me know what they are. I'm not sure what they are, but they look cool. And of course, we've got some more fighting games. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. This has got to be your top 5 rarest platinum as well. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 on the Vita. So straight away, you know, I'm seeing the Vita and the ultra rare and the fighting game 10 out of 10. So yeah, these are crazy. All 3 of them. 6 months, 4 months, 5 months. That's a lot of dedication to get these. So really impressed by them. And of course, Ultra Street Fighter 4. I was wondering if this final Street Fighter 4 stack would appear. It's a bit annoying. It's the only Street Fighter that doesn't start with S, but I knew it would be here. 0.47%. Again, that is, that's one of your rarest games. I can kind of see your top 5 rarest games in my head, so I wonder if I'm right. So brilliant. And you got Uncharted Trilogy, so neat. I'm jealous of this. I'm not jealous of your ultra rare fighting game platinums. I'm jealous that you've got such a neat and tidy looking Uncharted, because mine are a mess. Mine are an absolute mess. I can't even begin to explain what mine look like. I need to just go back and sort that out a bit. Well, I mentioned this series earlier. I didn't realise there was that many Underbirth games. I have... God, there's so many. Late, CLRST. Look at all these like variations. No idea. I know the sequel, yeah, that's got 2 stacks. Haven't played that yet. But I wasn't aware of one of these, which is some kind of variation. But they're great games. They've got some really cool characters that I like. It's not the kind of game where I could even name several characters. Yeah, I have the platinum in one of them. It's just one of those games I loaded up, played for a few weeks or whatever, got the platinum, thought, yeah, that was pretty sick, and moved on. Anyway, moving on, Valkyria Chronicles 4. I think I've played the first one. Yeah, this is like the old XCOM Sega World War II anime JRPG. That's a hell of a mouthful, but it is what it is. And yeah, good games. I didn't realise there were 4 of them though. Vanquish, this is a very classic PS3 Sega action game. So yeah, they're notoriously difficult. Lots of sliding. You have like a jetpack which lets you slide basically. 4 stacks of it though is kind of nuts. And you've done them all in 1 day each nearly, and these are like 9 out of 10 platinums. This guy's skill is through the roof. And I was going to say, just to solidify that, here's Wolfenstein 2. We don't actually have Wolfenstein 2. So yeah, you're going to have to get Wolfenstein 2, I think. New Order's brilliant. I have 1 stack of this. Looks like you've got the German stack as well. And yeah, brilliant game. Very, very in line with your love for Doom, Painkiller, and Serious Sam. Wolfenstein fits in with those really well. And you've got X-Blades, which is like another PS3 action game from what I remember. Don't know what X-Blade code is, but a Vita game. I'm all for it. And not a very rare one. So yeah, I'm going to look out for that. I'm always on the lookout for Vita games I haven't heard or played of. So that's cool. And you got YS versus Trails in the Sky. Oh wow, is this a fighting game? I know Trails in the Sky. Interesting. No, I don't know what this is, so I'm gonna have to look into that. If that's a fighting game, that's something I've never heard of. Probably not. It's probably just an RPG spin-off, right? Zombie Tycoon 2 is, I can tell you for free, the last game I'm actually going to talk about, because all these are in Japanese, and might be able to recognise some of the logos. There's JoJo. There's One Piece, yeah. Oh, there's King of Fighters. I can tell you that's King of Fighters 15 straight away. So yeah, cool. Even more King of Fighters stacks, and some more fighting games. So yeah, geez, I've never seen... a non-Japanese player with actual games in Japanese. So being able to navigate the menus, maybe you can read Japanese and speak it. That would be very impressive in itself. But yeah, several Japanese games at the end there to really bring home the list. Wow. Well, I have a lot to think about and to collate, because I'm going to start looking at these new awards that I've done and think about the trophy awards. But yeah, what a wonderful list. Thanks for sticking with me. So yeah, straight to the trophy awards next, and I will see you in a second. Goodbye for now. Welcome back, Trophy Hunters. It's time for the Trophy List Awards, and as you can see, I've made a few redesigns, but as always, we're going to start at the top, go to the bottom one by one, and each one is awarded for a different thing. So we're starting with No Plat, No Problem, which highlights the 100% without platinums. So the smaller games, well, they tend to be smaller, but they deserve just as much love as a full platinum, and that's what I like to have a look at first. And well, CurseBanette, his insanity continues because he's got 68 100%ed games. There's no way in hell I'm going to spend much time going through them all, because I would be here for hours. But I want to highlight a few, and then we'll choose my favourite at the end. Altered Beast, lovely old Sega game. Loads of arcade archives. Most of these are King of Fighters, and they're all under an hour each to complete. So if anyone wants a lot of cool fighting game trophies, then these 100% arcade archives are the way to go. So yeah, loads of them. That's nice to see. Capcom Stadium, that's very rare. These both are 0.54. The beat map is cool. Comic Zone, I like that old Sega game as well. That's from the PS3. Oh, you only got that quite recently, this Comic Zone. That's interesting. Dissidia. Oh, Darkstalker's Resurrection. Very nice. That is actually unobtainable now, 0.7%. So Dissidia may be rarer, but this Resurrection is fully unobtainable. I think it's to do with the awards you can get, and I think some of them are to do with online, but I can't remember. I've looked into the trophy list, but haven't been brave enough to load it up yet. Doom 64, which I think someone's Doom 64 won this very award for them on another list, so I like that a lot. Fatal Fury, Fighting Vipers, that game's insane. That game is a nuts fighting game. Yeah, just loads of more cool fighting games. Mark of the Wolves, of course, Fatal Fury is out, the new one. Golden Axe, loads of Guilty Gears. Max Payne, very nice. Arcade, yeah, this is cool. MK Arcade Collection. Probably a much better port than the newest MK Collection that just came out, which is meant to be terrible on PlayStation. I'm waiting for a couple of patches to see if it gets better. But yeah, I really like this this PS3 collection. That was a fun video that I did. A few Samurai Showdowns, very nice. I think I've got most of these trophies here. Skullgirls Encore, that's a rare one. That's very difficult. SNK, lovely. Sonic the Fighters, Sonic fighting game. I really want to show you guys that. I want to highlight that. That's a very fun game. Street Fighter 30th Anniversary. That's probably been my favourite one that I've earned, if that makes sense. And wouldn't necessarily give the award to something I've earned, but sometimes I do. Third Strike, very nice. Streets of Rage. Oh, look, there's the Tekken Tag Tournament prologue that I thought you didn't have, but of course you have it. I just forgot about it. Some more King of Fighters, loads and loads of 100% for that. All ultra rare, of course, or a lot of them are. Rumblefish, yep. Virtua Fighter 2, Virtua Fighter 5. All the Virtua Fighters. Never heard of Virtua Fighter Esports. Interesting. Oh wow, I've never seen that. Street Fighter 5, 100%. That is 10 out of 10. Insane, that's crazy. I would give it to that, but the notion that Street Fighter 5 has 100% in a different region is too confusing for me. So, that is actually a lot more than I thought it was. We're going to give the award to, what's my favourite here? I'm going to say it's Darkstalker's Resurrection. I think that's the only unobtainable on this whole list. Quick scroll, I could be wrong. No, looks like it. So yeah, this is a really tough game, and it's nice to see Morrigan and everyone else in that game. I've recently played this a lot in the one of the Capcom fighting collections. I think it was the first one that comes with mostly Darkstalkers games, along with a couple of others. So that's always fun to see. Just gonna have a quick look at what the rarest one is. It's going to be the unobtainable one, I'm sure. Or maybe not. Complete the first tier of the award laid to rest. No idea what that might involve, and at the bottom of the sea. But yeah, the awards here are going to be what's rare, with the unobtainable being the replay servers were shut down in October 2023. Matchmaking unaffected. Interesting. It's one on unobtainable trophy that's preventing the 100%. Cool. Good to know. Well, yep, that gets no plat, no problem. Darkstalker's Resurrection. Never Ending Journey is next, and this award is simply given to your most recent milestone. So for yourself, Curse, that would be platinum number 250, and it goes to Shuyan Saga, something I have never heard of. Its average completion is 47%. This might be one of your least rare platinums to highlight, which is quite funny because every other platinum you have is literally 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. It's just quite funny that your 250th is an easy game. You also got this 4 times, so not even you are immune to a multi-stack of easier platinums, which is good to know. Lets me know you're actually human and not some machine. So yeah, Shuyan Saga, let me know how that was. I have no idea about the game, but yeah, that gets Never Ending Journey. Time Crisis is next. A renamed trophy award that was, what was it called? Bloody Sands of Time or something. I can't remember. But it's for the game that has taken you the longest, or what I think may have taken you the longest. And I think, well, I know what it's going to be for me. But let's start from, the 100 hours, just to highlight a couple of your longer games. And you've got some RPGs, you've got Ninja Gaiden Black, a Tales game, another Ninja Gaiden Sigma, Persona, and then we're getting into the fighting games, Street Fighter 5, Super Street Fighter 4, Ultra Street Fighter 4. They are insane platinums, and we'll talk a bit about them later. Dissidia, I know, is a very long one, 200 hours. Never heard of this one, this Ryo Rai Rai, but I believe that is another fighting game. Not sure what takes it so long, but the award goes to Star Ocean The Last Hope. 500 hours, and that's all because of these things called Battle Awards, I think. I can't remember if this is the one I played on PS2 or not. I think it is. But you get different awards for doing different feats in battle. It's a massive grind. It requires multiple playthroughs, and I think that is because of awards that are only available on the consecutive playthroughs. I could be wrong, but it's right there. 500 hours is an insane amount of time. So I would love to know from Curse whether it took him that long. If not, how off the mark is that guide? Because I would always love to play this, but my god, I don't know if I want to play a Star Ocean game for that long. But yeah, man, the award goes to that without a doubt. Franchise Fanatic is next, which is a bit of a guess on my part. There's so many games where someone has multiple in the same series. It's kind of just fun to guess and elaborate, judging from what I see, the list. And it goes to Shuyan Saga, because you've got 4 of them. No, I'm only joking. It's definitely not Shuyan. It's gonna be a fighting game series. So even though you've got other stuff, but I'm seeing Blaze Blue, Street Fighter. It's definitely not Mortal Kombat. I remember you only had one Mortal Kombat Platinum. You've got no Resis. You've got no. Oh, you had a lot of Assassin's Creed, I remember. And then you've got quite a few multi-stacks, and I'm not sure if I should consider them. Multi-stacks is a bit cheating, maybe, but I can see you didn't auto pop anything. And when I say cheating, I mean for Franchise Fanatic. All props to you for earning the same platinums multiple times just because it's fun. I'm all for that. I do that quite a lot myself. I think it's going to go to Street Fighter, and Curse, whilst I was editing, and this is me editing here, I'm going to change it to the King of Fighters. I think I realised I wanted it to be King of Fighters instead of Street Fighter when I realised you didn't have Street Fighter 6. Just something I didn't notice while during the review. And then I was editing the No Platinum, No Problem award and saw how many King of Fighters arcade archives you have. And I actually searched the King of Fighters and just look how many you have. And then not to mention the 2 different region stacks you have here. So yeah, I think Franchise Fanatic very much should go to the King of Fighters, and I hope you agree. Trophy of Regret next, and usually this is really easy most of the time, but maybe for the first time in a trophy list review that I've done, I can't think of any game. Normally it's literally My Name is Mayo. There's no shovelware in this list. There are easier games like Shuyan Saga, which I've mentioned a few times now. There's easier games, but they're fighting games. They're fighting games, or they're action games or RPGs. They're relevant to your interests. So I find that really interesting that you've stuck to your guns. This list is full of the games and the genres you love, and it's fantastic to see. It's so cool. But I'm gonna have to choose one game, and something's come to me as I was just talking there. I think it's gonna be around here somewhere. Oh, this isn't bloody alphabetical, is it? Ah, I found it. There we go. It's going to go to Them's Fighting Herds. I hate this game. I've never played it. I've watched it a few times. I can't stand the art style. Some things I gel with, other things I don't. I know it's a very hard platinum. I mean, look, you guys can see it there. 2.85% and 4.58. They are ultra rare for a reason. Bloody hard games. I just can't stand the art style, and I can't stand thinking about the game. So yeah, it's a biased award, and I'm giving it to Them's Fighting Herds for sure. The Heart and Soul is next, which is an award that I made because I want to highlight certain games and give the award to my favourite from your whole list. And when I mean my favourite, normally it can mean a couple of things. Normally it's the one I had the best time platinuming myself, or a game that I think deserves more recognition, that I would like other people who watch this to consider to give a go because I said it's really cool. Sometimes it can be a game I want, and I'm like, yeah, that's sick, I'll give that the award kind of thing. Now, there's so many platinums in here I want. I don't have the time, the skill, or the determination to go for a lot of these. But I would love to get more Blaze Blue. I would love to get any King of Fighters Platinum. I don't think I have any King of Fighters yet, and it's a game I've played, multiple times growing up with, just not so much on the newer ones or for trophy reasons. Art of Anthology is something I've always wanted as well, because I always found that game very difficult. I've got a lot of love for a lot of your games because it's so fighting game centric. And I say, as I'm scrolling past Dead or Alive and everything else, but I think it's going to be one of the Street Fighters, and my heart honestly goes kind of straight to Street Fighter 5 because I consider that my hardest platinum. I remember the journey for it really well, the amount of times I failed. But then there's a game underneath it in the same series, and it's Street Fighter X Tekken. I'm actually going to give this award to Street Fighter X Tekken, which, in all honesty, is a failed fighting game, and it crashed the genre somewhat. It was like the dark times of Capcom, which led directly into vanilla Street Fighter 5, which itself was a terrible launch. It ended fine with its 5 or 6 years of support, but X Tekken really did start the troubles, to be fair. So this Vita version I just have fantastic memories of. I used to play this on the Vita on the way to work. My walk to work would be 45 minutes or something. I'd literally just play the Vita, going to work and leaving for work and on lunch, and it'd be nothing but Street Fighter X Tekken. And it only took 30 hours. I don't even remember how long it took, but I have such good memories of it that I'm going to give it heart and soul. And I'm not even sure what's difficult about it. It's not even, it's only 5 out of 10. All in all, it's nothing special, but it's such a good time with it that I want to give it this award. Which brings us to the final award, and probably one of the hardest to give in this list specifically, because it's the crown jewel, the best platinum, what I perceive to be your best platinum. And I like to start, on the screen there, on the list, starting from like the 8 out of 10s, just so we have like a recap of what difficult games that Curse actually has. Straight away, I'm seeing one I wish I had. Art of Anthology, the Blaze Blues, some of them are very difficult. Call of Duty Classic, so he's flexing his FPS there. Dark Souls, obviously, wonderful. Demons. And then you got all the Devil May Cries, which we talked about in the actual review. Doom is very difficult because of that one co-op trophy. GTA 4, massive open world game. Silent Hill 2 is notoriously difficult, and it just gets better and better after that. Injustice, which is actually your rarest platinum. So we could look at this from, a rarest platinum way, but it's not actually super difficult compared to other fighting games. It's just, I think Injustice was very popular because it was DC, so it bloats that low percentage. It makes that percentage even lower because so many people played it. Serious Sam, something I wanted to try myself, that one, but I've not loaded it up. And then, of course, we're getting Street Fighter 4's, Super, King of Fighters 13, and it just gets tougher and tougher and tougher, ending with the 10 out of 10s, Metal Gear Revengeance, Ninja Gaiden Sigma and Black, all of these. Persona 4 Arena is insane. Street Fighter 5, which I mention it a lot, it's probably the only 10 out of 10 that I actually have, so I have to keep saying it. And then Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I don't think Street Fighter V is as hard as most of these fighters. The hardest thing about SF5 is getting to Gold League. But if you're naturally talented at fighting games, not that I am, but obviously Curse is, I don't think that's going to be crazy difficult. You probably ended up in Gold League very quickly. I'd love to know how far you got and what rank you actually made it to. But so I think that leaves the fighting games that require trials for the crown jewel. So that leaves King of Fighters 13. Both of these you have to complete all the trials, or at least 200 or something. I think Super Street Fighter 4 you have to do all or the majority of the trials, and certainly Ultra Street Fighter 4, wherever that is. And then Marvel vs. Capcom 3, all three of these need 500 trials, 480, something like that. And the trials are combo challenges, and they start from beginner and they progressively get harder, ending with very advanced, very difficult niche situations where you have to do insane combos in order, in a certain way. And you get a nice mission success after, you've completed the trial. That makes some of these games very, very difficult. And I think Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is probably the hardest. Curse would know better than I, so here I have to say, but I think the crown jewel goes to Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. As for what version, having to do that on the Vita D-pad, I just cannot imagine. So I think specifically it goes to Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 on the Vita. Just imagine being good at fighting games and having to play it on the Vita with its kind of weird small D-pad. I cannot imagine it. So yeah, we're going to think about your score next, so I'll be back. It's 10 out of 10. I mean, what else could it be? What other score could I give a list full of fighting games and, other awesome games? But this has absolutely been the most fighting game focused list I've ever seen. So I think personally and critically and every other buzzword to do with that, it's got to be 10 out of 10. Curse he eats hard games for breakfast, and after he's had breakfast, he then eats the next game for lunch, and then he has the same game again for dinner. That's why he has so many treble stacks of ultra rare 10 out of 10 games. Have you ever seen a list with a whole page, nearly a whole page of 10 out of 10s? Because I certainly haven't. So yeah, super impressed. He knew I would like the list. It's very biased towards my taste. Maybe he got lucky with finding a trophy hunter who also loves fighting games. But whereas I have the passion for the genre, I have nowhere near this amount of skill. So hats off to you, mate, and keep it up. I'd love to know what your 300th trophy might be. There was one platinum that didn't make it into the review because I had left it a few days in between, and I think it was Street Fighter, not Street Fighter, God, it was Silent Hill 3 HD, probably, I think from the collection, isn't it, from the HD collection. Not super rare, but yeah, just that was his 286 platinum, and it's Silent Hill. But all the others were there in the review, and God, it just goes to show that just how much passion can get you. This reminds me of the racing game list that I reviewed, and this must be how racing game fans feel like looking at that list. This is how I feel like looking at this fighting game centric list, and it's just beautiful. So yeah, 10 out of 10, no doubt. I don't think anyone can argue. There's certainly more games I would like to see on here. You only had a couple of Dark Souls, for example. I think you might as well get every other Soulsborne on here. Why not? Wolfenstein 2, 10 out of 10. Why not? You've got the first one, and yeah, just really impressive, dude. Very impressive indeed. So thank you for waiting for a review. I know you've been waiting a long time. I definitely took a break because it's just editing all the time or thinking about editing is quite a lot to do on the mind when you like to play games yourself and work and everything else. You guys understand. I know you do, but I plan on doing more in quicker succession, and we'll just see how it goes. So yes, thank you for watching this very long trophy list review in what I think has been the best list I've seen so far, but again, that's a very personal take. You guys let me know what you think. Please subscribe if you enjoyed, and be sure to catch the next one. Goodbye for now.